Hello and welcome everyone to another episode of Dave Cooper Live, where we are bringing you the people, the products, and the process, helping us all to build it better. And this week, we kick off with the question: can artificial intelligence fix the inefficiencies within the AEC community, most notably the construction sector? Our guess is that today's guest was asking that very question when he wrote Augment It: How Architecture, Engineering, Construction Leaders Leverage Data and Artificial Intelligence to Build a Sustainable Future. Ready to help us decide if the promise of AI has finally arrived? Please welcome Mehdi Nourbakhsh, founder and CEO of Yegatech, a technology consulting company in the architecture, engineering, construction, and real estate industry. And stay tuned to find out how you can win a signed copy plus several other giveaway copies by joining today's show. And if you're going to watch this show recorded, we got some options for you to win a signed copy as well. So stay tuned. First, though, we have to thank all of our sponsors. So how about a quick word from all of them that are helping us bring all of this great information to all of you out there? Carson Holmquist and the team at Stream Logistics are experts in high-stake freight. They are the perfect choice for projects with timelines and a specific delivery sequence, shipments with high complexity and unique constraints. The new methods of construction need new transportation solutions, and they are up for the challenge. Visit them at streamlogistics.com. CombiLift is the largest global manufacturer of multi-directional forklifts and straddle carriers, a leader in long load handling solutions, offering a free warehouse and site optimization design service. CombiLift helps companies of all sizes and from every industry maximize the capacity, safety, and efficiency of their warehouse and storage facilities. A big thank you to Paul Short and the team at CombiLift for helping us all to build it better. Visit them at combilift.com. Brave Control Solutions, where offsite manufacturing systems that do more than just improve productivity. They have a unique approach to industrialized construction, a lineup of flexible automation systems specifically designed for the construction industry, empowered by CAD to Fab, and turnkey solutions for 3D volumetric assembly, structural insulated panels, finished wall assemblies, MEP component processing, assembly, kitting, and storage. Learn more at thinkbrave.com. All right, thanks again to all of our sponsors. We cannot deliver this information without you. And a big shout out to Stream Logistics and also their new division, Stream Modular. And you're going to see a lot more information on that starting next week. All right, let's hop into it without further ado, and let's bring Mehdi onto the show. Mehdi, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing great, and thanks for having me on the show.
Yeah, super excited to have you on the show today. This is a hot topic. We're starting to see it pop up everywhere. Artificial intelligence, now it's open to the world to use just about everywhere you look. And you've been dealing with this for quite some time before it started to become so popular, right?
Absolutely, yeah. I've been dealing with this for almost a decade and a half now, and I'm very happy that everywhere I go, I hear about data and AI today.
Yeah, well, data is something that our industry is just starting to really take seriously. And I think it's super excited to have you on. But before we hop into all of this tech stuff that you love to talk about and all the data, let's learn a little bit about who you are and where you come from and what you do. You got less than 2 minutes to do it. We want to know everything about you from the moment you were born to this very moment in time. Do not leave out any of the good stuff from the hospital, or we will have a family member on, and that could get quite embarrassing. But like I said, you only got 2 minutes. Go for it.
Awesome. So I started crying when I was born because I was born in a construction family. My first memory of construction was when I was 5 years old. We moved into a new house and I got a hammer and I destroyed the wall. And when my father caught me and said, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I'm building this wall." Fast forward 20 years later, I started my career as a structural engineering, and then moved into construction management, design and build, several high-rise building and refinery and so on. And then found myself at Autodesk after completing my PhD at Georgia Tech, working on what's the future of CAD and how AI can help manufacturing and construction and design industries to move forward and remove inefficiencies. Today, I'm the CEO of Yegatech, an AI and data consultancy company in the architecture, engineering, and construction space, serving you to be more productive and more efficient.
Love it, love it, love it. Well, we're super excited to have you on today. And for those of you that are out there, you all know that I will be heading to Phoenix, Arizona. I will be there on Wednesday. That's right. For the Advancing Prefabrication Show, save yourself 10%. That's right. That's a few $100, believe it or not. DC Live 10 is the promo code to use. I will be out there, and you can ask me about Mehdi and all the awesome things that he's doing there personally. So, Mehdi, tell him to come to Advancing Prefab.
Please do. Please do. We love Dave. We love Amy. You got to show up there.
There it is. There it is. Awesome. All right, Mehdi. So here we are, right? You're nailing the wall with a hammer at a very young age, and I can only imagine what your dad was thinking. And I'm surprised you still have hair left that he didn't drag you out. But what made you kind of change the way you were thinking about how we do construction, how we think about construction? Because like you said, you grew up crying. I grew up crying as well, like in this. I left, and then I joined the Army, and then I started crying there. I'm like, what the heck would I do? 10 years afterwards, I finally got out. But what was the driving factor for you to want to do this? I mean, because taking on a book's a big deal, and also technology is a big deal.
Absolutely. So when I was working in construction sites, I realized that how efficient the industry is. I remember a day when half of the worker didn't show up because it was a farming season, and they just decided to go to farming. And we had to retrain workers, or work with workers who had no idea what construction is. So it was really daunting, and the task that I was doing was extremely inefficient. I came to the industry thinking that I'm going to be collaborating and doing lots of creative work, but I found myself looking into 2D PDFs and drawings and figuring out, is it good enough to be built? Is there any information missing? And so on and so forth. So I firsthand experienced how inefficient the industry is, and decided I was dumb enough to think that I can change the industry. So I decided to go into higher education, do more research and development, and use technology as a way to make the industry more efficient.
Yeah, and it's funny, right? I mean, everything starts with a passion, and I know you have a passion for this. And for you, it was kind of that growing up and watching the inefficiencies and your experience with all of that. When did you decide you were going to write a book and actually become somebody that helps other people, use technology and use data for the construction industry?
Yeah, so the origin of this was, before pandemic. After doing this work, building technologies, helping companies to get up to speed with technologies, after doing it for a while, I realized why some of the projects that we are doing are successful and why some others are not. I started, seeing a pattern for the successful project and seeing a pattern for the unsuccessful ones. And I decided to put all these lessons learned in the book and share that with the industry, so that they know exactly what AI is and what it is not, like what it really can do and what it can't. And this was a motivation for me to share and to help the industry to move forward.
So let's talk about this. Who is the customer or the person that would be reading this book? Is it small business? Is it the single family home builder? Is it corporations?
So all of the above. I wrote, there are lots of AI books written for machine learning experts or data scientists or all those people. But I specifically wrote this book for executives and leaders in the architecture, engineering, and construction space. So this is a book that doesn't have any equation or formula or anything.
Mhm.
And I written it for them so that they can figure out how should they strategize around data and AI for their company. So if you are an innovation leader, if you are a tech leader, if you are a CEO, CFO, CXO in your company, that's the right book for you.
Love it. So what is AI? And I know everybody's been hearing the word AI, but how do you really define it in a way people can understand it, especially for the construction AEC industry?
Yeah, that's a great question. So AI is a field of science where scientists try to mimic human capabilities. So, how we read, how we think, how we solve problems. So, scientists try to mimic how humans do all of these and create a computer system that can mimic that. So, if I want to give you a metaphor that you can remember, AI is like a tree. So the roots of the tree are different branch of science like mathematics, psychology, philosophy, evolution, and the branches of the tree are different fields of AI like machine learning, computer vision, optimization, speech recognition and synthesis, robotics. So these are all different subfields of AI, and these are the branches of the AI tree. So the next time somebody asks you what is AI, think about the tree and think about its roots and think about its branches.
So with that, I mean, that's a great analogy, right? Because it can continually grow and help your organization grow is what
Yeah.
the kind of that analogy is. So how do you see the role of data in AI within the world of industrialized construction? Specifically, let's talk about modular construction and prefabrication, both single trade and multi-trade assemblies.
Yeah, so if you look at, so there are lots of use cases of AI in the industrial construction. First one I'd like to pick is improving processes and improving process efficiencies. So I'll give you a few examples. A lot of modular construction companies, they try to or already figured out their fabrication processes and what comes after that and installation and everything. But their biggest challenges is at the front end, like how to sell to developers, how to communicate the constraint and all the requirements that they have with the architects, and how they should improve the front end of their business. So AI can help you to optimize the earliest stage of your process and to make that even more efficient. So one thing that I didn't talk about when discussing what AI is AI has two main branches. One branch of the AI uses data to be able to create models, and another branch of AI, so it's at the highest level, uses human knowledge. So we create models, AI models, by using or mimicking the human knowledge. And these are the experts that you have in your company. Another branch of AI is thirsty about data. So we capture a lot of data and samples, and we create AI models with those data and samples. So now in your sales process, let's say you want to work with developers and you want to tell them how good, how time efficient, and how cost efficient your modular system is. So you can use AI and give the solution to them so that they can quickly figure out, based on the lands that they have or they want to choose, how much would be the cost of your solution, or how much time it will save them, and what is their profit, how many units they can build. And this AI solution could be built by modeling the expertise and knowledge that you have in your company.
So there's implementing all of this to get a value out of it, right? Is where do you start? Like, so to me, like I hear AI, I hear technology, it always sounds, great in the beginning, right? And then we've all done it where we're implementing a new software or CRM or SaaS or something, garbage in, garbage out. And I'm assuming
Yeah.
this is kind of the same way, but
Absolutely.
How does one get involved and say, all right, well, I like this, I'm going to buy into this? Is it a hard process to get started? And then what is the return on investment that makes me want to do this?
Yeah. So it all starts from the processes that you have, and if inefficiencies that you have in your processes. I'll give you one example. A curtain wall company that we work with, they have $10 million waste in
Yeah.
processes because when they get when they have 2 weeks to install their curtain wall, the general contractor tells them that, hey, you cannot install it on the north side. You need to install it on the south side because other contractors are delayed and the age of the slab won't be available. So they have to stop everything, the production. They need to figure out what are the new units that they need to build and install, how much they have already, what are the materials that they need to order, and they need to do it really quickly. And they're eating all the costs because they can't tell the general contractor that, hey, every time you're doing this, because next time they won't give them the job. So there's somebody in the office that is doing this in a week, and that person makes a lot of mistake. Rather, human can read 200 words per minute. Computers, an average computer can parse 40,000 words per minute. So that's the difference that we have. So what if, but computers don't have your expertise and your knowledge, but with AI you can build that. So what if instead of that person, you automate the processes with AI and embed that person's knowledge into an AI system, that not only you can find one scenario, but you can analyze different scenarios. What if material gets delayed? What's going to happen? What if this happens or that happens? And you can analyze all these different scenarios to reduce that $10 million inefficiencies that you have. So the starting point really is all about inefficiencies. For some other companies, now we're talking a little bit about going into the data. So this was the branch of AI that uses human knowledge, and we can encode that. If looking at the data branch, we did a survey of 200 modular companies in the industry to look at where they are focusing on today. So 83% of them been focusing on kind of a standard modular fabrication and production and efficiency, which is required, and everybody must do that. Only 11% of them had either design or sales configurator that could automate the front end of their business. Only 3.5% started capturing operational data. When buildings go to operation, are you capturing data or not? And only around 2.5% had the end-to-end solution. So this is where the industry is today. While most of the company have been focusing on production efficiency, which is definitely needed, only a few companies are looking in holistically on how they can leverage their data. And this is, when I work with my clients, I often say this is the difference between Toyota and Tesla. For many, many years, Toyota has been focusing on production efficiency, and we learned a lot from Toyota. But 63 years later, Tesla came and said, what if instead of only hardware, I also, monetize data? And they're doing it really in a best way today. And beside the operational efficiency, they're monetizing their data and they're leveraging their data. And there's a lot that we can learn from Tesla and bringing those into the modular and prefabrication. But the starting point is setting that strategy and making sure that you have a strategy in place to take you from now to 3 years to that point.
I love it. All right, everybody. If you're just joining us, we are talking about artificial intelligence with one of the world renowned experts in this field. And we're going to talk about how you implement it into your advanced manufacturing space. But we're also going to be giving away a free book today. That's right. We're giving away Augment It, a signed copy. Mehdi's going to sign it, send it out to you. And then we're also going to be sharing some QR codes. In fact, I'll put it up now. Those of you that actually click on that QR code and download, I think, how many are we giving away today? 5, 1,000? How many books, Mehdi?
So today we're going to give away 3. And for the audience that are listening later, if they go to this QR code and download one of the either book chapters, augmented workbook, or the white paper that I was talking about, Accelerating Business Growth with Data-Driven Modular Construction, right, we give away 5 signed books to the US audience only.
Yep, to the U.S. And we talked about that because the international stuff gets lost in the mail and doesn't show up. So, but we will definitely be giving away those books, and there's a lot to learn here. So, only on Dave Cooper Live can you get free stuff from some of the world-renowned experts in this field. All right, Mehdi, let's keep getting into this now. We talked about being able to use the data. We talked about being able to monetize that data, right? Not only internally but externally. We talked about the data in the AI helping us to sort through issues because it can go through 400,000 scenarios a minute versus a human and what they can go through, let's say supply chain issues like you mentioned. Now, can I just go to Staples and buy myself an artificial intelligence and plug it into my system? Or, how does this truly work? How does one just go, all right, I need an artificial intelligence. Hopefully it'll just run my company and I can collect the commissions, for the rest of my life. How do I implement this?
Yeah, so that's a great question. AI is available today. On your phone, you have Siri, you have, you can see it in your photo albums and they cluster them. And, there's no question that it's available to everyone today. ChatGPT just came out, which is awesome and great and amazing. But so this is outside of the construction industry. When you look into the AC industry, there are some solutions that are available. But the thing that gives you a market differentiation is probably what you're really good at. And that is, you need to build a technology around that to, have more market differentiation. I'll give you one example. In one of our use cases that I mentioned in the book, a company had a great weld inspector. So, he was, more than 40 years of experience in welding and inspection, but there was only 1 or 2 in the company and they had like hundreds of projects. So it's impossible for a human to go just to inspect all the weldings, in 400 different construction sites all at the same time. So what they're been doing is actually creating an AI system that when the welders, the subcontractors are doing a welding, they can snap a photo and AI can tell them this is a good weld or this is not a good weld. So this way, every weld is being inspected and all this data comes back to the headquarters where the main inspector is correcting the AI solution, whether this is a good one or it's not a bad one. So the AI is learning from the inspector. The inspector is inspecting many, many wells that they haven't, they couldn't potentially do before. And now they have a ton of data that they can use to license it to others and to, build a lot of technologies around that. And this is how AI and us as a industry professionals can work together. And to build that, you need to have a little bit of investment to test this out and bring that into your company.
We're working with a company, a partner of ours is On3.ai. Mm-hmm. And that's exactly what you're saying, but they're an educational platform. Mm-hmm. But with their educational platform, like you're doing as well, like that AI can pick up mistakes. It can see what's happening faster than the human eye, faster than a production manager or a safety inspector, right? That's on a production line because it can scan hundreds of thousands of pieces of data a second, I'm assuming. And that's what they're saying. And it can collect all that and put a red flag up and say, hey, we need to check this before it goes out the door, or there's a safety hazard here. Is that pretty much what you're saying?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes.
To me, one of the biggest issues that we have in advanced manufacturing or construction, right, is, not fixing things once they leave out the manufacturer's door, right? Or safety issues. And this is just one way on a production line where you can stop callbacks, you can stop mistakes from going out the door. And they're not legitimate intentional mistakes, but things happen. And it gives you better quality control. And I think that's where we got to try and figure out, like, how do you quantify the value of using AI to stop, some of these other things that cost a lot of money, especially when it already leaves the plant doors?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Thinking about, how much would you lose if, things go out of the door and doesn't work? For this company was how much we lose if they're in the food and yogurt and fabrication facilities. If there is a bad weld and the company goes to operation, this is a lawsuit, and it's a big expense for us, and nobody wants to work with us. So making sure that by installing some cameras in the manufacturing facility, and making sure that this camera will inspect every single unit, and so that the unit that goes out the door is 100% satisfy all the requirements and the quality control. That's a win-win. If you spend 50K or 30K to build this solution for your company, you have a lot of return on your investment.
Yeah, you do. I mean, can these cameras be mobile too, or somebody can walk inside and around each one of the structures that's being built?
Yeah, so you can have it on your phone. You can have it, installed somewhere. Cameras are everywhere. It's a matter, and data is everywhere. It's a matter of how we utilize and use them.
So we talk about AI in the manufacturing environment, advanced manufacturing, in buildings. How also does it help the actual building owners and the occupants of, those buildings? Can it do more than just work in the factory? Can it work actually for the factory or for the stakeholders on the buildings?
Yeah, absolutely. So the Tesla example was a good example, because if you think about the Tesla intentionally instrumented every single car, so that every car that goes out in the environment is actually capturing and collecting data and sending it back into the manufacturing facilities. So in a way, every Tesla car is a data collection machine. And Morgan Stanley, stated that the analyst stated that in 10 years, Tesla's software business will pass their hardware, meaning the car business alone. So similar thing could be applied into your processes for instance, in modular construction. If you instrument it correctly, let's say you have sensors for leaks, you have sensors for airflow or occupancy. Not only you can give some value to the occupants of the building and give them a dashboard so that they can track how their building is performing, and they can put in warranty issues and things of that nature. But by collecting all of that data back into your company, you know exactly what material you should choose, or what are the patterns of your building performing in northeast versus in the south or northwest. So by having this data into your company, you can leverage a lot of things that other competitors in your sector can do.
Yeah, for sure. Let's go to a comment here. We got Greg Ugaldi. Hey, Greg, what's happening? Past chair, National Association of Home Builders. Always awesome. DC Live can use Mehdi's tree analogy with all the roots and branches as you continue your outreach throughout the community. Well, thank you, Greg Ugaldi. I appreciate that very much. Good to see you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That's the man right there, Mehdi. If you don't know him, you should know him. Steve Burrows, look at this. See, I'm going to get a ride on that jet one day. I'm telling you, I love that picture. If I ever get to ride on a private jet, that's going to be my picture too. Question. Everyone in AEC wants change, but nobody wants to change. As long as a company is busy and profitable, this barrier is high. Thoughts on this?
Absolutely. Yes, 100%. It's a mindset. I will say technology is there. And I told that many, many times that technology is there. AI is there to help us. The data is there. You have enough data. You may not have a data strategy, but you have enough data. But oftentimes, this is a people problem than a technology problem. So we have all inefficiencies and we want to get rid of it. And oftentimes the mindset that some of the executives have or some of the people in the field have, it's a biggest challenge and barrier. So we also at Yegatech, we offer change management. So not only we develop solution for you, and that's our really the starting point, but we also train your staff and help your staff to make the change happen, so you get the highest ROI on the investment you make.
Yeah, for sure. And Steve's right. When the industry's busy, and they're making money, people tend not to want to change. And then when the industry slows down, people don't want to invest, right? They go into hibernation mode. But, I think in regards to Steve's comment, is it a people problem? That'd be my question. Is it a money problem? Yeah, I think what Steve's saying is right. I think that the good news is that in terms of mindset, the next generation is embracing it and bringing it into the space. So I think there's actually a change happening. How quickly that happens, and does it take being profitable to not change, or will they embrace the technology and say, hey, I can become much more efficient and much more profitable? And that's kind of what I see is going to happen in the future.
Yeah. And to add to this, Dave, when I was interviewing, I interviewed 50 people, AC professionals and executives to write my book. And I asked them one question: what is the biggest fear that you have for the industry? And do you know what they all said? All of them.
What?
Slow pace of change.
There's that cool voice. Slow pace of change. You know what? It's so true, right? Everybody wants change. Everybody, at least it feels like people want change. But like Steve said, if the money isn't, if we're not hurting the pockets, why disrupt the pockets? Not knowing what the future may hold if you disrupt those pockets. That's kind of the thought. But when it comes to the younger generation, I say this all the time, we need to meet them where they are. And they are not about swinging a hammer and nails on a job site in Pittsburgh, snowing outside at 23-degree weather, when there's better ways of doing things in this world. They're more interested in that tech, and they all have grown up with, Xboxes and Oculus, right? All these fun tools. I bet you got some of that stuff, right?
Absolutely. How do you know?
Hey, listen, I can just tell. I need to get some. I think it's super cool stuff. So, all right. Well, listen, everybody. Before we continue here, I just want to keep putting it out there. We are giving away today. That's right. We are giving away a free book. That's right. Several free books. We are giving away some free downloads. You can go to yegatech.com and get yourself some free downloads as well. So there is the QR code there. So please scan that, put it in your file, hang on to it. And we're going to get into what Yegatech does here in just a moment. Go ahead, Mehdi.
Oh, one thing that when you are downloading in the where did you hear from us, make sure that you put in Dave Cooper Live.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, that's right. Make sure you always say Dave Cooper Live when you go anywhere. Say, hey, I heard about you on Dave Cooper Live. That's what we do here. And we're also be giving away this free book. So if you want a signed copy today, go ahead and type hello in the comments section. We're going to do a random drawing anyhow, but it helps us find out who everybody is out there. So hashtag hello is a good way to do that. And if you're watching this show pre-record, or I'm watching the show as a recorded version versus the live show we have right now, you still have a chance to win that book. Go and download, like you said, go to their website, and I'll put that back up here again, right? Go here and download, and you'll be entered to win some free stuff. And that includes you, Mom. I see my mom's commenting there. So she may want one. Who knows? I bet I can get you one if you want it. Yegi, let's move into Yegatech. What did I just say? Yegi, Medi. Let's move into Yegatech, and we'll get into this. So, what is Yegatech exactly? Can you explain the name, the mission, the vision of services? Can you tell us about the great work you've already done?
Absolutely. So, Yega or Yegane in Farsi basically means unique and novel. And so, in a way, Yegatech means novel technologies. So, what we do, we help the AEC companies and startups to leverage their data with AI or without AI. We help them to create strategies. We help them to figure out where they are with the data today, where are their competitors, and how they can go ahead of the competition and win more projects or become more competitive. Not only we have the strategy part, we also have the technology and implementation part. So we come up with different strategies and projects for you, and we help you also execute those. If you need to just adopt some technologies, that's one option, or it could be that we can build that technology for you and develop it for you. But we're not going to stop there, because we understand that changing the industry is hard and changing the way that people are working is hard. So we stay with you, do all the trainings and change management in your organization, and so that at the end of the day, you get the ROI that you're hoping for. And we do this from the start to the end, and will be your technology and innovation partner in the AEC industry.
So you have a slide in here, right, that talks about being 60 times faster, design wise. So let's talk about this and how you came up with this being 60 times faster, and some of the knowledge that you have gained and learned working in this industry and helping others to achieve this.
Absolutely. So when it comes to, people often ask me, where do you see the highest ROI in investing in AI solutions? So beside the inspection and quality, I often say that it's at upfront of your workflow and processes, because you can leverage all the data that you have and bring it up front to to utilize that and to gain advantage. So this one, there was give you one example. There was a prefab steel company that I used to work with, and their biggest challenge was that they had to compete with conventional steel structures, and for them it was extremely difficult, because often the conventional steel was winning the race. So for them, they had to design the building with their system, and they had to convince the owner that, okay, this is a better solution than what you have, because we can install this in 3 weeks rather than 3 months, but it's gonna maybe cost 5% more or 10% more, or even at the same rate. So we develop a solution for them so that they can give that to the returning clients, so the clients can actually do the design. And not only they can do one design using their system, they can do hundreds of different design and scenarios, because this is what AI is really good at. So at the end of the day, their clients, for instance, a hospital client, comes up with the design with their system, knowing what are the values and benefits they get, and say, this is what we want. So they increase their sales without actually increasing their overhead, because now the technology is there to help them succeed. And going back into why 60 times faster, because often human, if you're a structural engineer like me, you know that it takes 1, sometimes 2 weeks to come up with one design. But if you use automation and AI solution, you can do hundreds of design in hour or in a couple of hours. And this is the advantage that the computation has over human.
So with the computation, how is AI being integrated into the design software that's already out there, or is this going to be a whole new platform?
So there are, some new technologies and solutions there that are looking into different aspects of incorporating AI into their solutions. and we are getting more momentum on that, which is absolutely necessary for the industry. And this is what I'm excited about, is seeing more and more projects coming up in this area, and helping the industry to be more automated.
Yeah. So, we're talking about AI in the world of industrialized construction right now. And, of course, many of those in our audience in this industry, even in the world, are starting to look at this. What are your thoughts on advanced manufacturing using AI, DFMA with AI, robotics, data collection? Is this really happening, or is this just another trend that we've seen in our industry year after year? We've always heard it was changing, but what are your thoughts on that?
So I see this happening more on the new startups that are coming out.
Yeah.
Because oftentimes the companies that are been there for, I don't know, 100 years or 80 years or 60 years, they've, often some of those companies, they say, okay, don't change if it's not broken. But the new startups, the new generation, these are the companies that are coming forward that have that mindset already in their place. So they are investing in robotics in manufacturing. They are investing in AI for DFMA, and this is what's really exciting.
So let me go to a question here with Henry Mickelberg. Come on, Henry. He says, if you're throwing ratios like 60 times, then some deets for this would be nice.
Absolutely. Let's catch up, and let's go into deets.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. I don't even know what deets means. Data, info, white papers, you want something. But I will tell you, Henry is a big player in the industrialized advanced manufacturing space throughout Europe. So Henry, sorry not sending you a book since you're over in France. But I'm sure Mehdi would love to talk to you a little bit more about that. So always appreciate you tuning in. But you do have data for all this, right? You do have the information that backs up that 60 times.
Absolutely. And again, it goes back into comparing the human capability on doing a design, let's say 1 or 2 weeks as a structural engineer, and being able to, and comparing that with hundreds of different solutions that AI can create in 1 or 2 hours. I'll give you one example. There was a project we did with a consultancy company. The owner of a building, a high-rise hotel in downtown LA, wanted to figure out what type of material they should build this 26-story hotel with. Is it going to be timber? Is it going to be steel? Is it going to be aluminum? And they gave them to this consultancy company, and they spent 2 months to just do design for one set of drawings. So they had actually 9 different designs. So 9 different designs with 3 different materials. So it took them 2 months to do the structural design and engineering for one, right. And then they had to send it to estimator, and another 2 months to get all the estimating going. And so at the end of the 4 months period, they had 6 months. At the end of the 4 months period, they could do very limited number of design, 3 or 4 at most. Whereas we developed an AI solution that could quickly look into all of those different designs and configuration and come up with the solution in 2 days. So that's how fast the computation is once you have a model that can run in these different scenarios. So that's the difference that it brings to the industry.
So, I mean, it has all the reasons why we should be adopting this, right? If we really want to build it better, we really want to be, what the industry needs, advanced manufacturing, offsite, modular, panel, CLT, mass timber, concrete, whatever, steel, whatever the case is going to be. If we had a solution that helped us make decisions and solve problems and produce 60 times faster than the traditional industry does currently, that could be a big game changer for us as an industry and getting this out there. But it does lead me to another question. What failures should we be on the lookout for? And we ask this this question all the time because we have robotic companies, other tech companies, right? And then you always have the clients say, "Oh, yeah, we tried it and didn't work, and it was too much," dot dot dot. If we were to help anybody out there that's considering using AI, what mistakes would they or should they avoid now, in the future, in the past? What would that be?
Yeah, so basically, the first thing is that people often say, let us collect data. And then after that, once we have data, then we will train an AI solution. But we don't have any data. So often my response is, you don't necessarily need data to start your AI project. An example I give them is that you need to first you need to have a strategy in mind so that you know what type of data you need to collect with what quality. The example I give is, have you ever been to grocery shopping so that you have some guests over and you just pick random stuff and you come back home and say, hey, let's make pasta, and at that point you realize that, oh my god, instead of ground beef you got steaks, right? So the AI or the strategy give you that recipe that you need to collect the right data with the right quality. So if you don't have that strategy and that recipe, you're probably wasting your time.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I haven't cooked pasta with a steak before, or pork chops, or any of that other stuff, but uh, I think you're absolutely right. I mean, it takes the ingredients, the technology is there. It's a matter of how you stack it all together and use it, and you have to use it the right way. And I think that's really what it's all about. But you won't find me in the kitchen that much yet, Mehdi. So I keep trying to I'm all over the place here today. But I do think that you're on to something here, and I do think that I'm super excited about giving these books away, because the people that are chatting the most in the comments here are the people that can really share this information and put it out there to the world. And I think that's what's super exciting today.
Yeah, and I told that many times that AI is not a silver bullet. It's just a tool
Yeah.
that we should have in our toolbox. It's not gonna solve all of our problems, and it's not suitable for everything and anything. As a tool, it has its own limitations as a tool, but we need to understand the tool to be able to leverage that. And
Yeah.
this is what what is all about.
It is. It is. And by the way, if you guys were wondering what deets is, slang for details, I'm down with the kids, Dave Cooper. I love it. I'm down too, man. You're making me feel old all of a sudden. Jeez. All right, let's continue. My last question, and I think this is the biggest one that's in the news. Everybody's asking about. Will AI replace jobs? Will people lose jobs? This is kind of, to me, the big question I think most people are scared of. And will AI start thinking for itself and take over the world?
Oh, great questions. The short answer is not in our lifetime. So the longer answer is, I often say, depending on how we as technologists design the AI system, the AI system can automate part of our job, or all of the tasks that we do. For instance, when you are driving your Tesla, Dave, I know you have a Tesla, and
I wish.
when you're driving it and it's a autonomous mode, it's actually taking most of the work that you're doing, and it will drive it itself, right? Whereas when it's not in the autonomous mode and it's it's in a regular mode, maybe there is an AI that is checking how you're driving, or you can maneuver too fast, or the windshield wiper that has an AI system embedded in it. So this is type of AI system that is assisting you. So the first one is the full automation that I talked about, and the second one is the assistive AI. And depending on how we design the AI system, it can assist us, or it can automate some part of us. I talk in length in one of the chapters of the book on how do we interact with the AI system. So for us in the AEC industry, you can think of robots automating some part of the work we are doing. Maybe, building the robots is cutting something, or the robot is, drilling hole or something. Or the robot is not automating fully, but is helping us doing some tedious tasks that we don't want to do. So depending on how we design the AI system, we can make it so that it can remove the tedious tasks, so that we can, improve and enhance our own capability and augment our capabilities, or it can automate some of the tasks that we don't want to do from the start to the end. So this is the role of the construction professionals, to learn about AI and to educate themselves about the technology, and ask the right technology from the technology maker. If you see that full automation is not the answer, you got to ask them to create assistive technology for you. So it's everybody's responsibility to communicate their needs, and also the responsibility of technologies to build something that is right for the industry.
Yeah. So that collaboration and that understanding, right? And my guess is you help people understand, where this fits in, or maybe even doesn't fit in some instances for their needs. And I think that's what's so great about this. So, all right, listen, I'm going to put it up here one more time for everybody to see and get yourself a copy of. Make sure you go to that QR. You can download. That's right, free. Make sure you say Dave Cooper live when you when they ask where you heard about it, but you want to go on to Dave Cooper Live, and you do that everywhere you go. Just write Dave Cooper Live on everywhere you comment, as long as you're not leaving somebody a bad comment. I don't want to be associated with it, but outside of that. So I think we're going to break the rules a little bit here, Mehdi. I think today we have two people in the comments. There you go. I just saw it. Steve Burrows says he definitely wants a free book. Well, Steve, today's your lucky day, because we're going to give you one of those free books. Steve Burrows is one of them. And we also have Greg Ugaldi. Greg Ugaldi, the past chair of the NAHB. Now, this is somebody that sits at the top of the food chain in Washington, D.C., and can really make a lot of change. But guess what, Mehdi? Both Steve and Greg are huge supporters of Dave Cooper Live. And we said 3, right? And I know Henry is across the pond. This was his question, right? Henry Mickelberg. Henry is also a huge contributor and supporter of our show on a regular basis. And he spends a lot of time traveling Europe, consulting and working with manufacturing companies. So if you guys out there don't know Henry Mickelberg, you should. And you better have thick skin too, because he says it like it is. That's why I've lost so much hair over the years. But no, Henry's the real deal as well. Henry, we don't ship overseas just because there's been some issues. But I think reach out to Mehdi. We'll find out how to make sure that you get a copy as well. So Greg Ugaldi and Steve Burrows, you guys are taking home the books. And geez, now we got more. Look, now they're all chiming. Now we also got Peter Molinar. Interesting discussion about AI. Hey, Peter, make sure you go there and put that download in there right there. Click on that right now, Peter. I want to see you take a picture. Let me see you take a picture. I'm waiting. I'm just kidding. I can't really see it, but I think that's great. Thank you for tuning in, Peter. Peter's another big, long-time supporter of our show. It's funny. We were talking about this, Mehdi. A lot of the folks that watch this show, our watch time Saturday morning and Sunday mornings, bright and early. They're business people. They're busy, so this is great, and I'm glad everybody is joining in. There you go. Peter said he already has done it. If you're watching this show not live, just know that you can still go here, download this, tell them Dave Cooper Live sent you, and I'm sure that Mehdi will be more than happy to reach out to you and get you whatever it is, the information is that you need. Mehdi, did we miss anything? Did I miss anything that you wanted to share today?
All good. Thank you for the great show and talk, and keep rock and rolling, and love to send more books to our audience when they have a chance to download the stuff.
That's right. And you know what we'll do? We will make sure you are connected with Henry and Peter and Greg and Steve Burrows. So we'll make sure all that happens. You guys can share information offline so you can send that out. And by the way, it's a signed copy. Just saying. Only here on Dave Cooper Live everyone. All right, so that's a wrap for today. Mehdi, thank you so much, and thank you to Yegatech for being part of our show, and thank you for offering the free giveaways to our guests. We really do appreciate that. Hopefully, we'll have some more free giveaways when we get out to Las Vegas, something we were talking about. We might be, we are. I have to say, we are. We're doing a 24-hour live stream from Boxable. Heck, I may even break into their factory while they're all sleeping. You're going to have to stick around for this one. We're doing it Vegas style, but we are going to go 24 hours. Henry, maybe you can join part of the show in that 24 hours. I will need somebody to wake me up and tune my brain up. So I love it. What? Check correct spelling and post, Dave. I guess we spelled something wrong. We'll fix that too. I'll have to get on my posting people.
Yeah, and we will also be at World of Modular in Vegas. We have a booth there. Come and talk to us.
And I will be at World of Modular in Vegas. There you go. So you will have a booth there. Maybe we have to come by and do a book signing. That'll be fun.
Yeah, that'll be awesome.
Do a book signing. All right. Well, listen, Mehdi, I know we went way over on time. Look at the time today. I guess we're just having too much fun with all this. All right, everybody. We appreciate each and every one of you out there. Please go to our YouTube channel, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell to be notified. It helps our algorithm and it helps us to continue to bring people like Mehdi and so many others onto this show so we can all build it better. It's super important. Take the time to do it. We really, really would be grateful. Outside of that, Mehdi, thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
All right, thanks for being here. That's a wrap, everybody. We will see you next time. Bye now. What an amazing show. Thank you to all of our sponsors for helping us to continue to bring all of these innovative conversations to all of you out there. Please visit them, see what they have to offer you, and as always, subscribe to the YouTube channel and ring that bell. It would mean the world to us. I'm Dave Cooper. Thanks for watching.